morning everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. On Frenchie by Chelsea Elizabeth, we dream big, make it happen, and I encourage you to be your own biggest fan. So welcome back to another video. Today's video is all about preparing for exams. So I have a few tips to help you guys if you're in exam season or if you're just thinking ahead. Good on you. I want to equip you with the tools to do well on your exams. So without further ado, let's get this video started, and don't forget to tag anyone who might need this advice in today's video. Share the video with them and let's spread the word. So yeah, I haven't sat many exams at university, but what I have done is a marketing subject in the summer, and for that subject I had to sit an exam, and I was freaking out because the last time I sat an exam under exam conditions was back in high school. So it really made me relearn how to prepare for an exam, and I did extremely well. I got a H1, which is the highest possible mark you can get at the University of Melbourne, so it's 80 and above. So I want to show you how you too can do that. And the first tip that I have for you today is to handwrite. And I've always been a firm believer in handwriting notes. I've just found it very helpful for me and very useful in memorizing. So that is the first tip. And I also want to show you a bit of a quote from a book that talks about handwriting, and this book is Ryder Carroll's book, The Bullet Journal Method, and he writes, "The complex tactile movement of writing by hand stimulates our mind more effectively than typing. It activates multiple regions of the brain simultaneously, thereby imprinting what we learn on a deeper level." So by handwriting your notes, you're essentially memorizing them as well. So let me show you what a typical notebook of mine looks like. So here we have some of my marketing notes from the beginning of the semester, of the year I should say, but basically I handwrite them all out and it really does help with memorizing. So that is the first tip for today. So you've handwritten your notes in class according to what your teacher has told you. You've written everything down. It's now time to get serious and look at the exam criteria. What are you going to be assessed on? So based on that, you're going to curate a document either online or say on Microsoft Word, where you'll basically put all of the key concepts and theories that are going to be on the exam into that document. And the way I did this was at the end of every week after class, I would go through and write out all of my notes from the week, the most important parts, into a document, which I later, before the exam, printed out and tried to memorize. So this is my exam Bible for my marketing subject. And yeah, my best advice is to do this so that when it comes to studying for exams, you don't have to go through all of your handwritten notes. You actually have a curated, document of all of the most important things, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be memorizing or studying things that aren't important for the exam. So this is tip number 2. So you've handwritten your notes, you've typed them up into an exam document. Tip number 3 is to read your notes out loud. And I know that might sound really random or a bit crazy if you haven't done it before, but I've always done it since high school actually, because one of my Italian teachers, Sonia, always taught me to read things out loud. It's a great way of just again, reaffirming these concepts to your brain and just, I'm sure it's scientifically backed, but I just find it so useful to do that, especially when it comes to rote learning and definitions. So for example, if I was studying right now and I was preparing for my exam, I would allocate maybe half an hour every day before bed to read over my notes out loud. And I would do that by saying something like, go through each definition. I'd say, okay, a product. A product is anything that can be offered to satisfy a need or want. And as the weeks progress, you would start to fill in the blanks. I would then be like, okay, a product is anything that satisfies a need or a want. Check, is that right? I missed a little bit. So then I would focus on the bit that I missed, and I would keep doing that every night up until the exam, until I memorized the concept. So it is taking your study to the next level, but I honestly find it helps so much, at least for me. The fourth piece of advice that I have for you is to practice, practice, practice. So as the age-old saying goes, practice makes perfect, and often our teachers give us practice exams. They give us them for a reason. Basically, they're giving us a big hint into what we can expect for the exam. Some teachers might even give you hints of what's going to be on the exam. If they do that, do not take them for granted. Write them down and create your own kind of exam questions and then answer them. And it's okay if you need to look at your notes while you do answer those questions. It's all in the name of revision, and honestly, the more that you practice writing things out again by hand and answering those questions, then the more likely you are to be prepared on the day and to not freak out when you see, a question about a topic your teacher told you was going to be on the exam. So just prepare yourself as much as possible. And I honestly see this as being kind to yourself, giving yourself a heads up and just putting yourself in the frame of mind of the exam, because exam conditions can be a bit scary and a bit nerve-wracking. So anything you can do to kind of soften the blow, do it. There you guys have it. There are my 4 top tips for preparing for exams. I am thinking of making a video about sitting exams and my tips for, undergoing an exam itself. So if you are interested in that, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Click that subscribe button, come and join the Frenchie fam. And I'd absolutely love if you could share this video with a friend who might find this advice useful. Thank you so much everyone, and I'll be seeing you next week with a brand new video. Have an amazing day because you deserve it. I'll see you soon. Bye.